Hello, my topic today is what I did my research topic on is stereotypes in male nursing. I did this area of research because it's very personal to me because I'm subjected to stereotyping in nursing because it's looked at as a female dominant field. Men can't show any compassion or help people in any way. It's a woman's job, and these are kind of like our gender roles that we've been given in society. And this happens all over the place for me. It happens inside and outside the hospital by friends who may tease me and say, "Oh man, like, well, you're gonna be a nurse," or some family members are like, "Oh, why don't you become a doctor?" I've gotten that a lot from my parents. Coworkers that are like, yeah, we need more male nurses, and that might not be a negative stereotype, but it's still kind of like, it feels like still like kind of a stereotype, and a lot of patients kind of give me this weird vibe of not trusting me. They may think my intentions are, not what they actually are, in my eyes. Um, the process that I narrow it down, used to narrow down my focus was kind of just going through the experiences that I had, and I kind of wanted to understand more of the societal influences that um, our society has on males that want to become nurses, and why males are stereotyped in nursing. And I wanted to look at the research to see what other men have gone through to kind of compare it with myself. What I really hope to originally learn from this research is kind of the opinions of other male nurses. I know what I've gone through, but I really just wanted to look deeper into the content and see what other men are saying and see if there's any similarities there, or if there's any differences, and if I can kind of evaluate their comments and kind of look deeper into the topic. Findings from my first research article. So my first research article was "Male or Nurse: What Comes First? Challenges Men Face on Their Journey to Nursing Registration" by Diane Juliff, Caroline Bulsera, and Dr. Kylie Russell. Um, in this article, there were several interviews done with males to kind of see if there's any gender biases in their life. And a lot of the times, the men loved their job, as do I. I love nursing, but they felt like more like individuals instead of just more of the group. Um, I find this in my own life too. I feel like males are we're called male nurses. We're not even called nurses. Um, I feel like there's a lot of judgment in society, and that was this happened in this article as well. It was a main contributing factor of why some of these men disliked their careers because some of their friends would accuse them of being homosexual or just kind of having ill intent because of the compassion aspect that a compassion aspect that's come with the job or the career. The second article is not a job for a man: factors in use of touch by male nursing staff by James Whiteside and Dan Butcher. This article kind of ran through the beginning and talked about how Florence Nightingale started nursing and how she didn't believe males should be in nursing. And this article was very interesting to me because it talked about how it first started off talking about why men don't use therapeutic touch, why they don't feel comfortable. It's because of the fear of misinterpretation by their patients. But then towards the end of the article, it started talking about how they need to teach these things into, in nursing school. So it was kind of like a conflict there. It was talking about how society or how the males think that society is going to react to their touch, but it's telling the men that they need to be taught that. So it's not that the men don't know compassion already, it's just that they're scared to show compassion and maybe the possible retaliation or accusations that may come with that touch. So that was very interesting to me, and I felt like the article was kind of supporting what I'm trying to prove here. Finding a few good men by Phil Harris. This article just gave me the statistics what I was looking for. In the UK, 654,521 nurses and only 73,902 were men. So that just kind of showed the huge disparity in males and women, males in nursing versus women in nursing. This really helps me out with showing, giving you all a number of the disparities in nursing. In my interview, I was really surprised with Ralph. He talked about how he's only ever discriminated against or stereotyped with older females. Other than that, he feels like it's an advantage to be a male in nursing. Doctors had more respect for him, and a lot of coworkers viewed him as more calm. But that's still kind of subjective because it could be his personality of why they think that. Some strengths from the article are I was allowed to include my own personal life in this and compare it with these interviews and just to see different how different culture, how the UK for how there's a huge disparity in men and women in nursing, and this is kind of indicative of most cultures, and it kind of ran through the historical aspects of the nursing, and then weaknesses. The articles were not representative of American healthcare system. Most of them were from Australia and the UK. Ralph's interview kind of what surprised me, and it showed that not all men go through stereotyping, which didn't help the case in my articles or this literature review. And there is no indicative way of proving that men shy away from nursing because of these stereotypes, because there wasn't a study done that showed that men, or maybe if there was a study that asked men who weren't nurses why they wouldn't be nurses, and they talked about stereotyping, things like that, that would have helped the case. These are the references that I use in the 3 articles, and then Ralph is the interview I interviewed. I had a great time looking through this and kind of researching this on my own. It kind of gave me a deeper understanding of maybe why that I'm not alone in feeling this way, and it just brought a lot of insight into my life. So, thank you.